Swain aimed at Roccat here, taking that away from Betsy. Had some killer Swain games.
Yeah, had a player of the game at least once on that Swain, maybe even twice by now.
Yep. The unkillable Big Bird is off the table, and it will be Nidalee banned out from Roccat alongside the Olaf, which we saw twice yesterday from Cabochard, and was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, with patch 6.11 that we're playing on currently being a lot more of a stable patch, there is more room for target bans across the board as opposed to having to ban out all these OP picks and then maybe trading one or two. The only caveat to that is the last two bans that we see right here, in my opinion. Ryze and Vladimir seem excessively strong. Trundle could be mentioned because in a lot of these 1v1 strong split push matchups, he still takes the crown due to the fact that there's no QSS available anymore.
Yeah, still very high priority on that pick. We'll see what Vitality want to prioritize in this one. Still waiting for their lock-in. Insta-lock coming in here. It will be Lissandra coming out for Team Vitality. Of course, that usually goes into the mid lane. We've seen it a little bit top, but very rare.
Technically a flex, but let's just assume that's going to Nukeduck. And it's bold to just early pick it up. He's saying, you know what, I'll play it into anything. Vitality need what Lissandra brings more than what any counter pick can do damage against it. Standard reaction with the Viktor could be expected here. I don't think Viktor's gonna break anything in the early game, but it's just a wave clear bot that has just very high presence in team fights.
Exactly, laning phase will kind of neutralize. In the bot lane though, we have the Caitlyn coming out, seen a lot of Caitlyn recently with the Trap Max coming out here. Very fun to see, but Roccat still toying with what they want to pick up here as their first rotation. Yeah,
I like the Kindred and Caitlyn together, especially if Lissandra's going to go in and try and assassinate somebody or lock somebody down. Kindred ulti can help. A little wary of a potential Gragas pickup here though, both jungle, maybe top lane. That can influence and just knock people out of the Kindred ulti, obviously. A lot of hard engagement on the side of Vitality. Generally, after this rotation, we'll get a semblance of what their comp's going to be, teamfight or split push.
Indeed, and next rotation coming out here from Vitality. Still a lot on the board in terms of picks. No one really deeping dig into their into their champion pool. It's not even a tongue twister, but getting tripped up on that one.
No deep digging so far.
No deep digging. But what's it gonna be from Vitality? Just not revealing anything. Right now.
The accidental hovers, and then they just hover at 20 more champions. Like, oh no, this was part of the plan.
It wasn't this at all. But
definitely not thinking about this champion that I hovered earlier.
Not at all. Well, they're gonna swap up away from the Graves onto the Karma coming out here. Seen a couple of Karma bans and a couple of Karma picks, and the Gragas as well, which we'll see in jungle and top lane.
Yeah, this Gragas definitely makes sense here. Really liking the hard engage potential again. While some of the other jungle picks have gone down, you can easily play it in the jungle, and it lanes well into many of the matchups currently in the top lane.
Very, very true. So waiting on Roccat now for the next two pickups coming in here.
And now we need to see, with so much hard engage here, is Roccat actually going to choose for any Zyra shenanigans? It definitely feels like that champion has to start moving towards pick ban trend as it does in North America, but perhaps Roccat just wasn't really practicing with it too much in the week. I think next week we'll see the true judgment of Europe on Zyra, but yesterday, 3-1 overall. Ashe Zyra, incredibly potent lane. I think we'll definitely see more of it throughout the day.
We saw a bunch of it yesterday, but not every single team is maybe caught up yet. That seems to be the trend currently. Viktor was picked up for the mid lane, so we will actually see that Viktor-Lissandra matchup, and Janna was brought into the bot lane, a very oppressive lane with Caitlyn.
Yeah, very defensive teamfight oriented comp here though, so they want to group later on in Siege, because Viktor doesn't want to play on a side lane, Caitlyn doesn't play on a side lane, so you're looking at least at 4-1. Obviously the top laner will decide that. But then they don't have any hard engage, so it's all going to be purely poke and zone from traps and gravity field. So if Roccat fall behind, they have a very hard time getting back into the game. However, if they can take control of the map, they can just inch forward on these objectives, on these turrets, and try and get a massive gold lead. They will likely need like a Baron to close out though, because Vitality is going to be very slippery.
Vitality, interesting last two pickups though. Ashe comes out for the bottom lane, so we'll be laning with that Karma, because of course we have the Lissandra in mid lane, and then Graves into the jungle. Seen a fall off on Graves, but is occasionally still picked.
So Ashe Karma has a similar lane pattern to Ashe Zyra. It's just a little gated towards accelerating your teammates a little more rather than disengaging. Karma has very little disengage, but can aid in the engage, and that seems to what Vitality want to do. Overwhelm, flank with Lissandra, flank with the Gragas, body slam flash in and engage. Roccat, they'll be on the receiving end of this engage, and they'll need to reset with Janna and hopefully kite with some traps. And then have Ekko just dive backline, take out this Ashe.
And that final pickup was Ekko, as you just mentioned, going to the top lane here for Parang. And we have the full compositions now locked in. So, yeah, MightyBear on this Graves as well. He's going to have to wait for his lanes to facilitate him rather than the other way around. But definitely impressed with his performances yesterday compared to week 1, of course. I think the jury is still out, though.
Yeah, they'll need to threaten the dive from the side of mid lane if they ever want to get access to tier 1 mid. If not, they'll definitely be looking on side lane turrets. Cool breaking point could be maybe Mikhail's on Raze, because there's already cleanse on Betsy, who can definitely get out of the CC layering then. But definitely a very distinct, or a very different, big difference in compositions rather. Both catered towards big fights, so we could see an explosive game.
We could see a less action-packed early game as the teams start to scale up. And it also depends on first couple spawns of dragons and if there's anything really to fight over for these two teams. But we can now see the full lineups, all the players, all of the pickups. And Reje coming into this lineup as well. Very aggressive yesterday, has picked up the Ashe this time, so will be part of the engage for Vitality. So we'll be playing a little bit different in terms of play pattern. Do not be thrown off. There is no fiddlesticks in this game, nor Nasus, unfortunately.
That was our test game.
Yeah,
earlier today.
It was a fantastic bot action.
Yeah, Fiddlestick bot really took the ground there.
He did. He was going ham, man, but we're about to get into game with Vitality and Roccat taking to the first game of the day here in this studio. We'll see who will be able to take this one and get 1 point over the other. Reminder, both of these two teams, 3 ties each. So we'll see if the prophecy rings true, and we'll have another tie today. But both of these two teams really looking for those 3 points, because over the last games they've only accumulated as much of those 3 points. So they've been doubling up right now.
Yeah, very similar bot lanes too. Slightly poke-oriented, high-range AD carry with a shielding support.
Indeed. So we see this fan out coming currently from both teams. I'm not going to see any lane swap shenanigans just yet. Just placing down the river. So trench warfare, nothing really happening. Taking a look at the starting items, nothing really out of the ordinary either. Both the range supports, of course, going for spell thieves. Top laners both going for that corrupting potion. Mid lane, as per usual, lots of biscuits, lots of refillable potions.
Lots of biscuits.
Many biscuits.
Love me some biscuits.
Yeah. Very, very useful in lane, but Roccat now sending their bot lane to top lane, so we are going to see a lane swap coming in, initiated by Roccat.
I wonder if they feel weaker in the matchup. The poke from Ashe and Karma is a little annoying to deal with, and Caitlyn's poke is much so easier sidestepped. So maybe that's why Rocket's just going to say, you know what, we'll head up in the top lane, weather the storm.
Potentially. In this game, we can see some of the keystones coming up. Betsy picking up Storm Raider's Surge. More and more mid lanes picking up that nowadays. Trying to get in range, land their combo.
So I'm not a big fan of Reje invading with the support here. Like, look at what he's done now. He's walked off, done a volley.
Yeah, which didn't even hit anyone. kaSing's going to continue here. We'll actually pick up the Wolf, so 16 gold and a bit of experience.
Luckily, he doesn't lose creep in lane, and he can still influence the wave however he wants.
Yeah.
Gets all CS, but 1. He went for the greedy, let's say AoE, all 3 keeps at once, and missed 1. So, Reje down 1 CS already.
Yeah. A big body blow, I'm sure, to Vitality.
Yeah.
Mid lane, Nukeduck and Betsy going toe-to-toe. I mean, it's Lissandra Viktor, so there's going to be a lot of wave clearing going on.
Yeah, it's all about pushing. Lissandra should be able to push in Viktor early, because laser is just too mana-intensive to spam on creeps. The good thing about Lissandra is that she, once she gets a little bit of mana back once in a while, or free spell rather.
Yeah.
And she can kind of harass while pushing. I guess so can Viktor, but it's a lot easier to angle if you're Lissandra, in my opinion.
Exactly. Slightly faster projectile as well. Top lane, Roccat going to be sitting in this tower, taking away the minions. Nothing really to write home about in the first phase of this lane swap.
Nope, combination of top jungle or top support, AD carry rather, all have a wealth of AoE on both sides, so we have a pretty accelerated lane swap.
Indeed. And they will continue the push.
Lost the counter.
Yep. Yep, that hurts to see. Mid lane, Betsy's going to get it though. He's good to go. Airwaks, of course, taking the buff on his strong side. Do not want to be invading elsewhere. MightyBear's going to do the same. And also took away the crab. First dragon of the game is going to be Ocean, so we may see some contest over that.
You think?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. If Ocean Drake is kind of the one where you like, I guess we're in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Let's stop here.
I mean, still higher priority than Cloud Dragon, where it's like we could be in the neighborhood, but we're going to cruise on by. Because, yeah, that's
not that great. Yeah, definitely both teams here doing the standard bounce. Yesterday we saw Fnatic go for a push in the position where Parang is right now. These teams don't want to go for that play pattern. So full-on standard lane swap. We've explained it all before, so we don't really need to go into in-depth. The only variable is maybe some cheeky ganks mid. But because Betsy is pushed in as Viktor and Lissandra always has access to the claw, it is unlikely that both these supports roam. As well as the fact that once we keep shifting towards these ranged supports that have good utility and sustaining lane, they're actually very poor roamers. That's why very often we see them holding their AD carry's hand, so to say, in the laning phase. Whereas a Thresher or Braum would maybe peel off now, go for a cheeky roam mid. There's not much a Karma can do than show up and it's like, aha, surprise! I will now shield my mid laner.
Yep, there's not a lot going on there, and the junglers will keep on jungling, the laners will keep on laning. Of course, we have Vitality going in the top side, try and push in this tower, so not a lot really happening in this one. I just want to see what happens when we get to mid-game, though, because that's really when we'll start seeing teams open up into more skirmishes, more fights, maybe start fighting over those dragons, objectives.
We're in phase 2 of the lane swap right now. They take a tower, they swap, and they go different sides, so I was in the office this week, Pulse. How was your week?
It was quite good. We were talking about the possibility of certain picks coming into the meta. Talking about specifically Illaoi.
Illaoi.
Yeah, Deficio called me over and was just like, Pulse, explain Illaoi. I was like, my time has come.
It's like, I was born for this moment.
And I wasn't even on the game. But also lost, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully at some point we'll see another Illaoi. And we do have Unicorns of Love coming up later today on this stream. So
very well.
Stay tuned for that one.
Against a chaotic game, they play Giants.
Yeah.
So against a team like that, it may actually work.
That's true. I mean, it's still 1v1 kill the Maokai, then died 3 times, but got that 1v1 kill. So one of the many new picks that we're seeing coming out recently.
All right. We see MightyBear here joining with Vitality as we go back to the lane swap to kind of even out the tempo, as we call it. Roccat's doing a dragon here. If Vitality's aware of this or they read this correctly, they could have actually pushed into the next tower and maybe gotten a teleport advantage. Instead, they're just really choosing to get that priest from Cabochard. Would have actually liked to see them push. It is expected, if it's a slightly favorable dragon, for teams to take that up. You could use that time to maybe push in an extra wave into the next tower, chip away at it, leave a deeper ward somewhere. But that's nitty gritty. Right now, because Roccat executed the lane swap slightly quicker, they pick up a Drake. Comes at a slight cost of their top laner.
It is nice though for the early game because it's a combat with champions and because you're not doing much of that, especially in this game. But you are hitting champions and you are hitting monsters and those don't deactivate your buff, so we'll be gaining a lot from that one.
Guys, you got Ocean Drake. Let's stall for late game.
Yeah, we've got it. That's our game plan.
If only that existed in Season 2. Yeah. We have some more excuses.
Yeah, unfortunately not. Very recent addition. Maybe 4 years too late. But
yeah, there we saw the good old regeneration of the pink wards. Very deceptive if you're not used to that change. Makes you think you suddenly have amnesia. Because you're like, I swear I hit this. Did they replace it?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
You place another one for that, really? But yeah, it's annoying because if you get it down to 1 and then come back later, you have to do the whole job again. Better though for the likes of Graves and Jin. With,
very happy.
With being 4 now, Jin had the worst time with pink wards. Now only 4 shots. Airwaks are going to go ahead and invade alongside Raze.
Yeah, so supports kind of working together with an ally, whether it's the AD carry or the jungle right now. Janna on her lonesome can't really achieve much, nor can Karma. Karma can escape ganks a tiny bit better, because she at least has a movement speed steroid. But yeah, they need to be very wary when they invade. That's why you all see them pair up with jungle or AD carry. But it does make for a lot more of a passive game, especially in lane swaps. The intricacies and strengths of some of these ranged supports with AD carries really come to fruition in laning phase, when they can whittle somebody down, out-sustain them, potentially in a dive. But if they're not fighting anybody, their strengths are completely negated, and the lane swap kind of neutralizes a lot of their effect.
So with these 2 supports in particular, Karma and Janna, who do you think does better as they transition into teamfights mid-game? Is it comp-based or...?
I think you need to look at... It's hard to gauge what a Karma really does for a team, because it's almost invisible to see your impact, because a lot of it goes down to Mantra E. You literally just cast a shield on your entire team and speed them up. That is now your role as Karma.
It's kind of the ghetto Civ ult, but still good. Sometimes we even see both, and then you run super fast, but...
Ghetto? Yeah. Discount Civil.
Discount Civ ult.
I used to call it
my term.
I used to call it Ghetto Civil ult.
Yeah, I'm used to that term from my RTS days. Airwaks is going to come out here and just farm away these crabs.
He's looking for marks. Let's see where he's at right now.
1. He's on 2 currently, I believe.
Yeah, 2 marks currently.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kindred got changed a little bit. As the game progresses, the marks get put in different locations. They start very easy with some of the easier camps in the jungle, and they end up, I think, around 7 marks, 9 marks. You can only get them from stuff like Dragon or Baron later on, if not the Rift Herald. So the game puts a natural cap on your snowballing.
Indeed, that is a true statement, Crepo. First big item has been picked up by Nukeduck. It's going to be Rod of Ages. 9 minutes into the game because all mid laners have been doing is farming, so they have a lot more gold.
Oh, the straight Rod of Ages, no boots here.
Yep. Even went for the refillable potion. Got the siege happening in bot lane. Got the small trap setup and the zoning coming in from the Ekko with parallel convergence. Reje gets knocked up and kaSing's getting chased down by Airwaks. With this red buff doing a lot of damage and is going to have to flash away. Aggressive flash by Airwaks. May have gone a little too deep. Reje will get a bit of punishment down onto him as he backs into the top side.
And
Cabochard's coming in. Flash E. First blood over to Cabochard and and Vitality onto Roccat, I should say. Nukeduck coming in to this fight as well. Parang charging up the parallel convergence, going to slow down Gragas. And he's still coming in. Big cast right onto Parang. He's going to have to flash away. Phase dive over the wall. Meanwhile, Viktor's coming in for moral support more than anything.
So yeah, this fight started off by Roccat putting the emphasis on a 4-man siege in the bot lane. Cabochard was freezing the top lane, so Roccat was forced to make a move. But instead of prioritizing the objective, which was a tower, which they could have easily gotten away for, Airwaks made a really bold dive, almost over-aggressive here, and then Nukeduck TP'd in the backline. Watch this. At this point, Airwaks can simply peel off towards the tower, and they have a favorable objective trade right now. But look at the double TP coming down instantly here. Lissandra has been in this fight, kind of shutting off the backline for absolute ages here. Surprised that Nukeduck doesn't take more damage than just this. He gets pretty low. He managed to get out of the fight. At this point, he still has Tomb available at all times. And then obviously the re-engage comes in from Vitality, so I think Roccat made a decent move, understandable. They couldn't move to the top side of the map to break the freeze on Cabochard, so they just went for the objective. But that mistake was entirely Airwaks and Airwaks alone.
Airwaks just going a little deep there. Roccat kind of getting itchy to make something happen, but as soon as he flashed under that tower, it was at that moment Airwaks knew he'd screwed up.
Yeah, it was at that exact moment the realization sinked in. It was like, perhaps it was a mistake to flash for the support after he used flash already. Because even if he gets a kill, I mean, it's just wasting so much time.
Exactly. Well, level 7 now. kaSing still level 5. Mid lane pushing in here. Got the blue buff.
And look at the timing as well here. If they can avoid this little gank here,
round 2
will be in a good spot. Okay, he survives that. Look at the timing. Pushing the top lane, which means jungler and top laner can path down towards the dragons, what I would say, but they're actually going for a very early herald here. They're not tracking that the next dragon is an infernal.
In just 12 seconds from now, and herald is going to be traded, given to either Cabochard or MightyBear.
That must be Cabochard at this point.
Yeah, more solo, and obviously it makes sense for it to be Cabochard sitting in that side lane.
Yeah, Vitality's actually, I think Roccat wasn't aware. The second they hear this Retail go down, they will instantly start Dragon. So you saw them posturing, right? That's because they expected Vitality to be in base and running out of base right now. They were scared of the enemy jungler and top laner to randomly show up. The second they hear the shriek of the Rift Herald, they will instantly go for Infernal. So that is likely a mistake from Vitality. They could have pathed down, secured the area, worked with a nice Ashe arrow to set up a pick, while Parang was trying to desperately catch up in farm in the top lane. Instead, they yield Infernal and they traded for a Herald. Not worth.
Really interesting. There's honestly not been a lot of priority on Herald for anyone. You take it if it's there, but we've seen so many teams take it like 19 minutes and then for it to despawn.
Yeah, there is a reason why they take it late though, because the buff, obviously, percent buffs carry more weight as you get more stats. So relatively speaking, the later you take it, the better it gets.
Sure.
That's why if you have control of the map, taking a Herald at like 18 minutes allows the buff to last as long as you want, up until the phase where you're actually really going to be dueling and split pushing on the side lanes. So that's partly a reason why it gets taken later.
Because if you take it early, then 20 minutes goes by and, well...
Time flies.
Time flies like an arrow.
Fruit flies
like banana. Damn, there's no Zillion in this game, otherwise that would have been perfect. Oh well. I'm glad you know the quotes though. Reje's going to carry on pushing the bot lane. How are we doing in terms of farm? Steeelback slightly ahead. Top lane Cabochard slightly ahead to make up for that. Actually significantly ahead, about 700 gold on that one.
Yeah, he had a larger gap at one point because this wave is now stacking up. So Parang did catch up. So that was also a downside of the Herald play. They allowed Parang to farm for free, so they added that into the Canada trade. So definitely a favorable trade for Roccat. Enough dwelling on the past though. In these passive games, it's where we start judging mid laners for dipping under 10 CS a minute.
Yep. So what are we on currently? Just past the leap mark on the timer. And Nukeduck is going to even up. So 1 CS advantage to Betsy. GG.
Is this Froggen's wet dream? Yeah. What do you mean? Lane swap into match, into swap, into swap? Alright. Far mid lane, uncontested.
Let me break some records.
Yeah. 600 CS, baby. Here we go.
Let's go. Everyone just keep doing what you're doing. Airwaks is going to invade here, clear out some vision. We've seen that a lot from the junglers, also paired up with their supports, but the vision control has not accumulated into anything.
Yeah, it's also with compositions like this. We may see a little bit of action here. Kindred went over the wall. Teleport on Parang 2. This may break out in a bit of a scuffle.
Reje took out Steeelback. We'll have to investigate the crime scene later, Crepo, as Airwaks is still on his way out. Reje is getting chunked down by Nukeduck. He's going to have to flash away before Nukeduck also turns tail and runs back to his team, or to find Airwaks, who happens to be here. kaSing will get the speed up. MightyBear coming in from the top side, looking for end of the line. Flash away from Airwaks. He's still trying to kite off, but I don't think he's going to be so lucky. kaSing with a flash and a kill.
Yeah, kaSing surprises him before he can even put his ulti down, with that projectile coming from pretty much darkness, you know, out of the smoke screen. Gets the kill though, not sure if worth. Let's watch this again. So, MightyBear kind of hid in the brush, and while Roccat was trying to attempt a pincer, they didn't have any CC to make it work, so they really needed to herd the cattle there. Nukeduck goes in. Really good exhaust here by Race 2 at the very end, I think, saving his life. But yeah, this is Roccat again, attempting a move without checking all the boxes first, you know. Always make sure that every individual member that is flanking can't get turned on, because then everything falls to smithereens pretty much. And this composition as well from Roccat. This is how you get a name to be a team that only plays late game very well, because, I mean, what are you going to do in an early game lane swap scenario? Super long lanes, 0 CC, no offensive prowess. You got some objectives, but they got traded for enough farm that Vitality is still strong, and all the proactivity is on the side of Vitality. E-Flash Gragas, you know, Lissandra flanking, Ashe Arrow, speed up from Karma. None of these tools, none of these things exist on the side of Roccat.
We need Vitality to cultivate that into something more as we get into later on into this game and try and close this one up before Roccat does get the chance to get to the late game and really play where they're strong.
Yeah. Nukeduck slightly overextended though. He should probably be dead here.
Yeah, he's getting chased down by Airwaks, and he has enough mobility in this long lane just to straight up kill him. Flash away by Nukeduck, but he's still getting chased down. There's Ace in the hole. Will be enough? Not quite. Airwaks, he's so close. I think it will require 2 auto attacks, and there's the ultimate from Nukeduck burnt. Raze is going to also try and back him up, but it was enough healing. Airwaks is dropping low as well. This time he escapes with his life, but that will result in a mid push coming in from Vitality.
I mean, they could have taken him down too if they just used the ulti creatively there, so not on the same page whatsoever. Nukeduck with a fantastic, I guess, right click away, escape, and Vitality capitalized on the other side of the map. 3-0 up now, leading in objectives as well. You can see Roccat, they're grasping at these opportunities, but they can't quite catch them in the palm of their hand because they're really lacking the necessary element, which is the crowd control effects.
And the next dragon will be Cloud coming in from the map. I was going to say from the team, but that's not how it works.
The map gives, the team takes.
Yeah, exactly. They will pick that one up, hopefully, one of them. But Roccat don't really want to be eldering that one up because not the greatest buffs out of the others. But the other 2 that spawned, very good. We're not going to see any mountain dragons this game, though. Yeah, that's for certain.
4 is a crowd.
4 is a crowd, and 3 is just enough, so you get those stacks coming in here.
3 is the right company.
It is.
I like what Vitality are doing here as well. It does make sense. They have double TP. They're playing one of each on a side lane because not only is it much safer for Ray at the farm, both these champions do incredibly well if they can flank and engage a fight later on. Lissandra TP from one side, Gragas from the other. We've seen it before, how useful it can be. It also forces the Viktor quite the annoying position. Get back to that later though, because we're fighting.
Yeah, Betsy is trying to get back to lane. Here comes the TP out from Cabochard in from base. But a collapse coming in from Nukeduck as well. He does have the ultimate. Airwaks will pop down his own ultimate. Knocked out of the circle, back in. But he's not going to survive. Nukeduck will finish him off easy.
Yeah, and unless Roccat is grouped, they have a good disengage from the Janna ultimate. There is nothing they can do against these fights, because every time they see one TP come out, and they don't even see where Nukeduck comes from, suddenly you see an ice claw on the screen, and it's too little, too late. Airwaks even gets his ulti down, but the only thing it does rather is buy him time. And at this point, Roccat need more than just time.
Yeah, we need a lot more than that. More than seconds, more than minutes. But let's take a look. And
It's also look at how it's Roccat initiating this play. Their teleport goes beyond, behind their offensive line. Betsy has to flash out. Airwaks gets singled out. I mean, this is a team that's not on the same page. They're desperately going for plays with limited vision. We get the indicator that next dragon is going to be an Infernal Drake. But again, you know, Roccat, they see a hero, it's like, okay, I guess I'll start trading. Suddenly 2 teleports come down. It's almost if you're playing solo queue versus dynamic. It's like, these guys.
They're everywhere.
They're them, using their summoner spells optimally.
Yeah, playing very well as a unit currently, but 19 minutes into this game, 4 kill advantage. That's resulted in a 4,000 gold lead, plus that extra tower you can see over to Vitality. Roccat still, of course, trying to gun for that late game with the Caitlyn, with the Viktor. And Ekko actually building a little bit more AP this time, going for the Rod of Ages versus just straight up full tank.
Yep.
So gonna get that one in here. And on the opposite side, Nukeduck in a very good place, 2 item power spike.
Yeah, now we can track what Vitality's strategy is, largely from just following kaSing, honestly. See where he puts his vision. Limited access to wards, half sights on left, 2 stacks, 1 stack by now. So we're gonna see if he actually goes for the approach where you place a couple of wards, base again, and then move up your ward lines, or if he's too afraid to kind of drop there. We see familiar sight here. Roccat tries to pick off
I have seen this exact scenario before. Betsy's going to chase him down, Chaos Storm, auto attack, and Airwaks is going to kill him.
And that plays into what we were talking about just now, because kaSing is focusing his vision on the top side. It is incredibly hard for Nukeduck to overextend and push on the bottom side. If he wants to take that approach, that pattern of play, he needs to make sure that Vitality can get something on the other side of the map. Right now, all they're getting is some vision. That's not worth a death. That's not worth yielding the pressure in the bot lane. So in essence, that is a macro mistake of Vitality, but it also shows you how hard it is to play 1-3-1 efficiently right now in this current meta with so few wards.
Exactly. Well, Dragon is going to be Infernal next, but the Baron has spawned. Seeing a lot more early Barons. Generally not exactly at 20 minutes, but within like the 20 to 30 minute mark, we're seeing more Barons picked up. Could be as a result of getting those Mountain Dragons as well, but also how the game state has kind of changed over the current couple patches. Either way, mid lane, Vitality is going to group up as 3, carry on pushing, look for another objective to go for.
I mean, and Rocket's kind of... They're stunting their long-term growth by opting in for kind of short-term measures with the 4 boot trinkets. Yeah, it helps you avoid picks, but it's vision that doesn't last. It gets cleared out very easily. So they really, using band-aids to patch up bullet holes at this point.
They are, but not really sure it's going to fill up that blank space, but getting into later into this game, Roccat are still alive. And that's what they want to do when they get to the 30-40 minute mark. Yeah,
Vitality made a kind of a change of their own. They realized that their weakest and most easily exposed member will be on the bottom side, so that's why they're swapping Cabochard there. He's tankier. It'll take a lot longer for Airwaks and Betsy, for example, to chase him down. He will then be matched by Parang, and it gives you a lot easier access for Nukeduck to kind of invade the enemy jungle, be guarded by kaSing, and also be helped a little bit with vision. Obviously, that means you're not lacking a tank if you truly want to go for a Panic Baron here. Not really a Panic Baron, just a Sneaky Baron rather. But it is the best distribution. Later in the game, you definitely want to move your tank to the bottom side of the map. Get him in for those flank TP wards as well.
And Cabochard also has that Glimpse of the Void, so we'll be dealing a little bit extra damage, 5% damage reduction against Parang. And Nukeduck heading to the top side now. Will probably be met by Betsy, who's going to also clear out the wave. And we'll see a rematch from mid lane, who can clear more efficiently. Currently Betsy, he's 250 farm at the 22 minute mark.
Yeah, Betsy trying his hardest to stay relevant in these teamfights later on by just farming. And poor Raze's gameplay pattern has been reduced to place wards, base, place more wards. Rocket's done a great job though. Look at the 3 pink wards in their jungle. I think it's 3. There should be 1 hiding on the Viktor's portrait. Yep, that's still there. 3 pink wards right now. In their jungle, which means they actually have information and security about what's going on over there, which means they can at least face check their jungle up until that point and have relatively easy wards into the Baron. So if Vitality want to get access to this Baron, perhaps launch a bait, not only do they need to deplete all these blue trinkets, they need to get rid of the trinkets in the enemy jungle. The pink wards rather.
And Airwaks has looking for the ward. Something popped his razor sharp and he was like trying to figure out where it was. Managed to take away that one, but didn't get the one in the bush, just to the size of him. But lots of vision being traded back and forth right now.
Yeah, and it's very hard to make picks like this if you're playing against a good team. That's why sometimes...
Oh, there's a ward at the back of the pit.
Yeah, probably not spotted. Yeah, it's not spotted.
Just out of range, yeah.
Yeah.
But they saw Airwaks over the ward that they had placed, so they immediately decided to back up. So they know something is in that pit for them to back away, and then Roccat will be fine with that.
Yeah, I wonder if that's range influence or if that's one of those little pesky little wards that's stuck in the wall.
Yeah, not entirely sure, but has been no pause either way. Vitality are going to back in to their jungle. Steeelback is currently sitting on those 2 items. And so is Reje actually as well with the Essence Reaver. So hasn't gone for the Infinity Edge yet. Actually picked up the Hurricane on top of that. Essence Reaver was very good as a early item for Ashe. Of course, the way her crit works, she gets a lot of mana back on pretty much every auto attack from the Essence Reaver. And then also the Hurricane has those fancy particles where it looks like you're shooting a million different arrows out. So pretty cool. Coming in to the bottom side of this river, Airwaks still roaming around. The Infernal Dragon is live, so team's trying to posture around that one, but vision from both teams.
Alright, right now there's a rotation mid, possible Vitality. If Roccat step in, they could eat an arrow here, and that zone alone is going to make them take the long route, and then Vitality can go back to the Dragon here. So instead of trying to contest the area, they contest it by means of pressure. You say, you know what, it'll take you too long to do this Dragon, we'll just go mid. The opposing team will then have to say, you know, do we sacrifice mid, potentially second tower rotation top? Nope, we'll yield the area, and now Vitality can freely walk in. So without fighting, a more political way of dealing with things here.
Fighting without fighting.
Yeah.
Vitality onto this Infernal Dragon. MightyBear taking a bit of punishment though from it, as they haven't fully committed.
Yeah, now they can't do the same.
Step up. Roccat are just all over this one. He's going to be smited away over to Roccat, but immediately collateral damage will take down Reje. Steeelback has been caught out by the arrow, followed with the volley. He's still slowed down, but 90 caliber net will get him to relative safety. 1 kill over to Reje.
And Vitality, they were considering to do the same concept there, but obviously they needed to reset the Dragon entirely. Roccat did a great job of picking it up once it was in 2000 health. They traded their support for the uptime on a potential Kindred ultimate. That's debatable. Airwaks did not want to save Reje there. But Vitality looking to sneak in with a cheeky Baron.
Oh, MightyBear just straight up starting it.
Yeah, that ward has now expired, so Roccat have no knowledge of how low the Baron is. Obviously, they know it's being started. They're checking the Facebook rushes right now. And right now they are aware that it was on 5,000 health moments ago. Well,
it was down to 25% HP now with Airwaks trying to get involved. Great cast coming in from Cabochard. Will completely deny the steal. Now they'll turn their attention to Steeelback. Being dragged in by the gravity field. Parang will jump in. Chrono Break comes out. Betsy looking for the follow-up. So much damage out from the Chaos Storm. But they all managed to back away coming in from Vitality. Great defiance coming out from Karma. Nukeduck outplay 1-for-1 kill in the backside.
Yeah, sloppy finish on Nukeduck there. He was going to get trapped here. Reje could have channeled his tornado way longer. He went for the cheeky insta-nado after Zonias and missed the timing. If he was aware that the trap was being placed, obviously Nukeduck would have died without being able to go for the flash W2 combo. So that was a mistake on the side of Roccat. But the biggest mistake that we should focus on is the fact that Vitality engaged that fight after securing Baron. That was very bold, almost hubris, because Cabochard had just used his ulti defensively. He's now running for his life.
He's still running. He's done a big loop-de-loop of Summoner's Rift, and Ekko's probably feeling a little bit annoyed that he's being outrun by someone 4 times his size, but who eventually managed to take him down, Parang with the kill.
It's all in the cows.
It is, apparently. Yeah. Maybe he's wearing a bodysuit. I have no idea, but either way, that man is fast. Reje getting chased down by the bullet. Can't outrun that one.
Yeah, Vitality did a great job going for that Baron. Instantaneous call, but then they engage right after. Watch this again. Keep your eyes on Cabochard and how he sees the approaching Airwaks. Boom, he shall not pass. But then right here, they can disengage. They read to go in. E-Flash is a nice combo if they have follow-up. Nukeduck does a great job buying time because Betsy is almost 1v4ing the front side. And look at this right now. He goes on a trap. There's another trap placed. And wait, that tornado right there, if you channel that just a fraction of a second longer, you can go for trap into nado knockup. Easiest one-shot of your life. Instead, his AD carry drops. It's in the details,
yeah,
but it's definitely important.
Those small details and those small mistakes and advantages all add up in the long run. But either way, Vitality did manage to pick up the Baron, still have it on a couple members, 3 members down the mid lane. Unfortunately, don't have it on Cabochard, of course, because he got chased down and died. So won't have it on the side lane, but they'll have it in the mid lane as they're pushing in. kaSing is currently on a ward and is trying to take away the pink ward. Airwaks is going to get a quick punish, while Raze is able to take away the ward there. kaSing's still trying to get in range to finish it off, but it is regenerating. Mid lane, MightyBear, and to take down the tower.
Tower falls. Vitality looking to take some more objectives with this Baron buff to increase their gold lead. Reje always looking for some arrows too, but we're approaching kind of the point where Roccat does get stronger. Not only do their individual player strengths lie in team fighting, their composition is also catered around it. Mikhail's will soon be built up on Raze as well. We touched on it briefly in Champs League, but that's going to be another thing to remove some of these CCs, allowing Roccat to peel back a lot more efficiently.
Interesting to see when that Mikhail's gets picked up. You're very courteous of you saying we, but it was definitely your point you made, Crapo. But we'll see what happens when we start hitting those breakpoints. Over to Steeelback, picked up the Quicksilver Sash as well, so we'll be able to get out of Nukeduck's ult. Reje's ult will not be able to get out of Cabochard's ult, but hopefully he can either flash that or get away. Doesn't have it right now. Top lane still pushing in. Cabochard's coming out there. Arrow is going to land onto Raze. Airwaks is also called out. He's in the Lamb's Respite, but Raze should be going down. That's a 2-for-1 on the volley.
Really good volley there to secure the deal, but that is Vitality. No hesitation. They're working together as a team here. Very aware of where they can go for the play or not. And Roccat overextending in their own jungle. They know that's the next goal, the next target there for Vitality, and yeah, they commit. They seem very disjointed this game. Roccat not working as a team at all.
Yeah, the trap line has been set up here by Steeelback, but I am personally tilted by the fact they are not spaced correctly. And
Is your
my OCD
your
is
OCD kicking in?
Yeah. Well, what annoys me more is like they all just walked around it because it wasn't. It had big gaping holes in it. So hopefully Steeelback can set that one up for the next push. I'd like to see that coming in from
Probably
him.
triggered some people with OCD because the one thing they hate is when you go like, oh, my OCD is kicking in.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's good for playing the mind games against Vitality.
Yeah, really good arrow here that either went to Airwaks and missed and went to Raze, or it was directly targeted onto Raze. But regardless, Nukeduck held his frozen tube long enough as well. He knew Airwaks was kind of trapped within the restraints of his own ultimate. If he walks out, he's dead anyway. So he switches target to Janna. Just awareness, very calm, collected fight here for Vitality, because obviously they had a time. They were 5 against 2.
Yep.
So it all comes down to the start where Roccat are kind of caught with their pants down yet again.
Very much the case. 30 seconds left on the next dragon will be Ocean coming out. 8-3 currently on the kill score. kaSing was like, do I block away? I can just shield him.
Yeah.
And then we'll mitigate a lot of the damage. And still setting up for this next dragon. Roccat still trying to control the area with those wards, of course. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Cabochard still pushing. Will want to go back to base in the near future, probably for his mana pool. He's picked up the Guardian Angel, in fact. So he's not going down for a long while.
And Reyes so far does not seem like a player who's playing his 3rd game on stage right now in the LCS.
Yeah, very impressed by him as not being going balls to the wall aggression in this game, but slightly harder as Ashe, I would say, to do that compared to Vayne.
And they're pinging Viktor right here, but they are aware that he has cleanse, obviously, so they'll need pretty much instant follow-up. There's no wave here, so you should always look at the wave, because you see like 4 members in the tower, you're like, oh yeah, they can push, they can siege, but obviously the wave is slowly approaching in the bottom lane. Vitality wear, so they path away. That's one of the bigger rookie mistakes of kind of lower tier players. They see an objective, they know that they're grouped, and it's like, okay guys, let's take this tower. And then they forget to track the minion waves.
And it comes back to bite them later. Well, in terms of how this game is going, it's been these small incremental advantages picked up by Vitality has resulted in an 8,000 gold advantage, which almost cresting a 10,000 gold lead at 32 minutes.
Yeah, and they can rinse and repeat. They're definitely not running out of time in terms of closing ability. They're just waiting for the next Baron here. Yeah. If not, they'll make use of the next Elder. That will be their goal to close out. Their composition scales well enough into the late game. They're far enough ahead to make use of some of these liberties. Do not really push on and start trying to siege their way into the base, because it's incredibly hard still to break open the base without a Baron buff against the likes of Caitlyn defending on one side with her traps and then Viktor just evaporating the wave on the other side. So it will always boil down to the Baron. That's why a lot of these teams, we need to harshly judge rather, on their execution of Baron baits and vision control.
Very true, and feels like Vitality kind of draws you into that type of game where it becomes longer, and Vitality, one of the teams with the longest wins. So really just draw you out into their own game.
Well, this time it is Roccat to blame, though.
Yeah.
This is like the...
You're not wrong.
The CLG comp. Yep. It's just like, guys, it's fine. We'll skip for late game. We'll hide in our base. Hopefully they don't figure out how to play the game in the meanwhile. And maybe we'll win. Then we'll get it.
Take him out. Ooh, Ashe arrow down the mid lane will hit Raze once again. He has been a magnet for those things this game. Not going to result in the kill just yet, but kaSing, a dog on a leash. Raze is going to go. Oh no, Cabochard knocks him away. He's still taking down from the ignite. He may be a dead man regardless. Got the shield coming up. kaSing wants blood, but Raze is going to knock him away with the ultimate. Cabochard now being locked down. Dragged back in by the gravity field. He's going to flash away. Guardian Angel still available. Parang jumps back into the fight with his own ultimate. Lamb's Respite is going to keep everyone alive for a couple seconds before people start dropping. MightyBear's dropping low himself, and Airwaks will eventually fall. 3 for 2. This is an incredibly messy fight. Cabochard getting chased down. Triple kill out for Steeelback. Parang's going to chase him down for the 4th kill and the 5th kill of the fight, including the Quadra for Steeelback.
Yeah, Quadra kill for Steeelback, and all this setup from Vitality ruined because they're chasing a support. They chased Raze across the map. They must have been a great fan of Dora's casting, going all the way for that supportal combat, but it was simply too much, and I think Vitality realized it halfway through, but they couldn't kind of get out of that phase. They also used the Frozen Tomb on Betsy while it was still in Airwaks' ultimate, instead of just going for the maximum defensive channel, you know, self-casting to Zhonya's. So questionable decision-making there, but Vitality caught by their own greed. This happens so often where teams get a large lead, take one Baron, they get lulled into a false sense of security. This trap right here, slowing Cabochard down, basically starts everything. So that was a fantastic trap from Steeelback. And right now Roccat is kind of eating away at the edges, while Raze so close to dying here. kaSing obviously, Karma supports, they have very few points in Q, only 3 points in Q, so... But look at how much damage is being done in the backline by people walking through the over-chase here. And Nukeduck has his Zhonya's and ulti Betsy at the same time, but he still gets his ulti off for a couple of ticks. And Steeelback is just untouched. So like this is the dream fight for Caitlyn here. Having a Janna being able to give you an AD steroid, keep people off you, and everybody else is hitting your allies instead of yourself. Yeah. So very easy cleanup for Steeelback. But we have to question target priority on Vitality or simply just positioning on the map.
I mean, this is a big swing in the game momentum now over to Roccat. I mean, yes, they are still down 6,000 gold, but they're going to make a lot of that up in the next couple seconds.
Yeah, but this is for the first time in this game. They can now play the offensive part of the composition, which you'll see right here. Steeelback's going to nail down the traps. The zone from Gravity Field and Laser can now be set up because this minion wave lasts longer than it does usually, and they have strength in numbers right now, so they're just going to breach the mid lane here. Look at the trap wall already being built.
Yeah, 3 traps going down there. In the bot lane, Nukeduck was split pushing, so he managed to take a tower, but in the top lane, Parang is doing the same thing. Nukeduck's still putting down this pressure, but Parang will match it. Mid lane, they are kind of getting stalled out by Vitality. Roccat
yeah, but this wave,
quite get in.
This is going to be the wave where they're going to commit. They've already made up their mind. Parang's basing though to deal with Nukeduck.
Yeah.
Steeelback's just poking away on the side. Not sure if I like that ulti. Smoke screen.
Gonna happen just yet. Airwaks was taking a bit of punishment there. The tower is very low, but Parang is trying to stop Nukeduck in the meanwhile. Gonna jump back to the glacial path set up by Nukeduck, so he is home and dry for now. We may see people close in around him. He just stepped over a ward. Steeelback's still gonna push down the mid lane, but the tower in mid lane did not fall for Roccat. They will pick up a consolation prize of Nukeduck, most likely in the bottom lane. Nukeduck, what tools does he have available? Flash, ult, he's going to use both of those in just a second as he ult onto Airwaks. Betsy is still following after, trying to get in range. There's the laser, buying more time. Gravity field comes up, and also the parallel convergence will result in a dead Nukeduck.
Yeah, and that's 20 seconds to Elder Dragon 2. So complete control. Is Roccat even tracking that? I really hope they are. As we see the base, I think they could have just defended. Well, having both people in base here may be putting them at risk of losing the Elder, but it takes so long to do it. And as a 4-man unit from Vitality, you might see it come out as a Hail Mary play for them. But if Roccat right now push up mid, turn to the Elder, they're in a really good spot in this game.
That's a really weird sequence of plays, though. Like, the split push from bot lane takes a tower, and the second tower almost taking the inhib. And in mid lane, yes, they got a lot of damage down, but Roccat couldn't quite take that tower and couldn't push any further. Meanwhile, Roccat pushing down.
This was the hardest part, getting through that choke point here. 15 seconds till the Nukeduck, though. It took Roccat quite a while here All Vitality need to do is just stall for a little bit, so maybe Nukeduck can teleport to one of these wards.
Well, this is going to open up a fight for sure. Vitality are still pushing up, trying to find an opening into this fight. Trapline is still there. The Elder Dragon is very low. It's going to go over to Airwaks. Now the fight opens up. Betsy with the ultimate. He will be staying alive. Knocked out of the circle, but Cabochard can't quite finish him off. Nukeduck into the volley. Will pop his ultimate. Meanwhile, MightyBear over the wall. End of the line. Follow from Nukeduck as well. Will claim a kill. But this is all going wrong for Vitality. 3 for 3 so far. Nukeduck has gone down. He's coming back up. kaSing is there to support him, but Parang should be able to finish off this kill and finalize it, as will Raze. 5, 4, 3. Roccat come out ahead for the ace.
Yeah, at the end of the battle, the Koreans are the ones that are left standing, as always in League of Legends. But what a fight overall, and we need to look again at Cabochard in his ultimate. He was so close from having the perfect pinball combo, I think, on Betsy to finish him off. So the arrow comes out, Betsy takes it, he cleanses out immediately. That's when it all starts. Really good defensive monsoon here too from Raze to secure the dragon. But right here, 4-man, he could have knocked them all away, but he's still not. I think Cabochard angled his ulti wrong. He was trying to just focus on Betsy and getting him out of the ulti, but it wasn't quite enough distance. If he kind of aimed it the other way, yes, he would have forced the enemies away from his team, but Nukeduck could have came in from the top side and had a really good 4-man ulti there. So I think that fight could have gone a lot different, but this is obviously judging on very small windows of time, really.
Sure.
The Cabochard had maybe a fraction of a second to decide where his ulti was going. It was a beautiful 4-man E-flash that we have to praise, but I just would have loved to see a world where he actually ultied them out of the Lamb's Respite, and then Nukeduck came in and just bodied them all.
Unfortunately, we don't have the alternate timeline to see what would have happened, but still 14 to 13. A lot of kills have happened in the last couple minutes alone. Elder Dragon over to Roccat. Remember, they have 2 Infernals and an Ocean. Those Infernal Dragons have started to result in a lot of damage onto this team, and they have all the AoE, this late game composition, with all of this damage. Looking for a flank to come out from Nukeduck. It's going to be Parang coming in here. MightyBear is going to have to step away. Cabochard coming in from the backside, looking for the flank to go down onto Raze. He's going to get chunked himself into the gravity field, down into the Guardian Angel. Parang is still beating away at this front line from Vitality, but Cabochard is going to be left to the wolves and left to Roccat to kill.
Roccat, yeah, they played that right. Cabochard, there was hesitation. He didn't even know what target he wanted to go for. Made a very meek attempt there, going for Raze, but it wasn't quite enough, and then they simply turn on him, kill him off the G8. Really good shift back in time from Parang, and Roccat looking to close out in the late game.
Well, they managed to take the Nexus turn. Nukeduck's going to go into his own ultimate. Parang goes down into Guardian Angel, but there's so many low members coming in from Roccat. They will be saved by the Lamb's Respite, but maybe temporarily. The Soul Flare doesn't quite land, but the shutdown coming in from MightyBear. He will be following after. Betsy looking to come into the bottom side here. Nice volley coming in from Reje will slow down his target, but he's getting destroyed by Airwaks. Raze are going to assist there. 2 for 1 in total, but Roccat will turn away.
Yeah, really good Howling Gale there from Raze. Initiated and then called for the turn onto Reje. Couldn't sidestep it. We also see just how much influence in these teamfights these mages have later in the game. A couple of spells here on a couple of targets bunched up. Suddenly everybody's dropping low. So in a blink of an eye, these teamfights can shift entirely from one team to the other.
And only 18 seconds remaining on that Baron, but yeah, Roccat going very deep on this play.
Yeah, Airwaks kind of stood out to the left side. Nukeduck. His Lissandra is a joy to watch. He gets the perfect opening, and then Reje with massive AoE poke through, combined with MightyBear. So they're forcing Roccat to kind of group up. They're hurting the cattle, and then they're using their AoE abilities to see if they can punish the enemy team. Reje here overextending, and obviously Kindred in the late game still deals a lot of damage.
There's the maybe a little bit of over-aggression from Reje. He can still make it work as Ashe, going a little bit too far onto Roccat. But yeah, herded the cattle, but couldn't draw them to slaughter. There's 3 escapes on very low health from Roccat. Still, that is a Nexus turret down for that team. And now we are back to this phase where both teams are kind of posturing. Baron is, of course, live, so there is something that both teams are looking to vie for.
Yeah, we're just a NATO channel into a choke point. Roccat can easily get this Baron burned down, especially with this line of traps.
And that's the spacing I'm talking about. The second one from the right is a little too far to the left, I feel, but apart from that, A for effort.
Oh, I like this. I like this a lot here. If it wasn't for the pesky little ward,
Ooh,
they would have gotten away with it.
It wasn't for that Damn pink ward and Vitality too coming in for this engage. The arrow goes wide, but Steeelback comes into the fight. He's knocked into the team from Cabochard. First casualty, not going to be anyone just yet. MightyBear's going to be backing away. Airwaks is looking to follow after he hasn't dropped yet. Nukeduck will fall. Roccat pick up that kill, lining up the shot. And MightyBear is chased down by the bullet. Meanwhile, Roccat looking to pick up the kill onto Reje, who is separated from the pack.
Yeah, confusion on both teams here. Roccat desperately trying to keep Steeelback alive. Mikhail's was essential and kind of saving his butt. He flashed out. Cabochard couldn't punish him enough, even with the exploding cask. Roccat remaining members were trying to finish the Baron, but MightyBear steps in, gets it somehow. Maybe it was a smite again. So arrow goes wide, good sidestep, good flash from Steeelback. Instant Mikhails to give him mobility again. Reje's peeling very well in these fights here. And on the right side, MightyBear secured the Baron, but then Nukeduck kind of re-engages. So at this point, if we could pause and call like a timeout, I'm pretty sure Vitality would have come to the conclusion as like, okay, we got Baron, let's get the hell out of Dodge. But they were so stuck in the fight that Nukeduck re-engaged, but still a good trade for them. They were so close to losing their entire claim on the game here, especially if we look at how desperately they needed the Baron to kind of make their offensive part of the composition work. Right now that's removed from them and they're put on the back foot again.
I mean, this has suddenly become a very close game from such a massive advantage from Vitality, which was kind of given back over to Roccat.
Yeah, they threw it back.
Yeah, and Roccat caught it. You know, you've got to praise the team for catching a throw, right? But
so you never surrender.
There you go, exactly. That's a solo queue tip right there. Anything can happen, especially in solo queue. But either way.
Still prefer to surrender though.
Yeah.
The 1 in 20 chance that happens, I'd rather have the peace of mind of not having to play
mentality,
out. Yeah, of not having the mental loss of playing those other 19 games.
Yeah. And
that's just me though.
Follow up and you get tilted. Yep. Depends how you are as a player, of course, but Roccat never going to give up, never surrender. That's a different team. But Vitality are going to clear away some of these wards. And still a while until the next Elder Dragon, but...
Yeah, first one's right after 35, and you're used to a pattern spawn time of 6 minutes, but after first Elder goes down, it's 10 minutes.
A lot of time to wait.
It's a long time.
It is. Longer than Baron. There's some high-quality analysis for you there, Crapper.
I mean, I don't know why I'm here anymore at this point.
Just take over.
All you need right now is just a slightly different second voice, and you can just do it all yourself.
Boom. Unfortunately, I can't do any other accents, otherwise I would take the show away, but Vitality, they're clearing up these waves.
The stage is set, Oz walks up like, no, not auditioning for this
I do the thing where I like have different makeup on the other side of my face, and I just turn back and forth, and just two different people. But,
get a nice copyright claim while you're at it.
There you go, perfect. Well, I'm not going to say that word, so I won't get the claim, but Roccat in
You're like a superhero called Double Face?
Yeah, Double Face. Yeah. I'm not even going to go further on that one. Nukeduck, he's sitting in base. He has teleport available, so he's potentially looking for a flank. But they are very much starved of vision around the mid-side of the map, the middle of the map.
The mid-side of the map, definitely pulse. But everybody's moving around in packs, and split push isn't really there because the looming threat of a pick kind of punishes you too hard. That entire concept actually translates to what happened at MSI. A lot of people were big fans with like the 1-3-1 split push, but everybody was so afraid of kind of going for the extended 1-3-1 that what ended up happening is that everybody hovered around the river, just really desperate to make picks. Even supports like Mata right there were opting out for just waiting in bushes, trying to make a pick as opposed to playing purely the vision game. Something similar always happens in late game. When everybody starts for vision, nobody wants to face check to get more vision out. So you have very condensed maps where everybody's just kind of afraid to be the one guy that screws it up for the team.
Indeed, and right now we have this big lull in the action as Elder Dragon is up in a minute and a half. So most teams, most likely, both teams rather, going to be waiting for that
lull in the action.
Lull.
Where we prefer anticipation.
Anticipation.
You know, the build up to the grand finale.
Tension is building.
Yep. We're ready to see the crescendo here.
So it's all about how you frame it, Crapper. Oh, a lot of damage actually onto Reje. This is welcome to late game Caitlyn, where she has a lot of AD and a lot of crit and does a lot of damage. And both teams still posturing, and definitely the tension is building as we gear up for this big final fight. And 47 minutes into this game. Feel like we're at this stage very often with these two teams, where we get into the phase of the game where it comes down to that last vital skirmish.
And it's at this point in the game where kind of roles take up a different shape too. If you look at MightyBear, he's another carry right now. If you look at his build, he has a really deceptively hard Grace build to kind of beat. Both Maw and Sterex.
more and Hysteric. Great for just not being bursted down.
But I wonder if it's actually worth combining them still, but obviously...
Okay,
yeah, because they share unique passive in terms of lifeline, so they can only get one of them, so it's not the added benefit. I wonder if MightyBear read that patch note.
Yeah.
Definitely the stats still great for Graves here.
He's got a client in English and just like, I assume these are different. Vitality around this area. There's a trap line, but very condensed trap line, so you can just kind of step around it. But still a wall that you can't pass over.
At this point, if you can force people into predictable areas, it's also good for Betsy.
Yeah.
It does as much as just a single tap will do.
Nukeduck clearing the bottom wave. Still has TP, as does Cabochard. Parang in the top lane. All the teleport users are in different lanes. Elder Dragon immediately started off actually here by Roccat. Vitality are closing in. Here's the TP coming out from Parang.
Nukeduck on the bottom of your screen too. Let's see if they're aware of this.
To find an angle.
They are now.
5,000 health remaining on the Dragon. That's going to be Nukeduck jumping in there. Airwaks will instantly pop his own ultimate, keep people alive. Going into that Zhonya's again. Nukeduck is zoning so many people away. Parang down into the Guardian Angel. But meanwhile, Nukeduck will go down himself. Cabochard trying to back away. Roccat looking to chase after. Betsy up to the top side, looking to take someone down. Cabochard is going to be drawn in by the gravity field. He's got nowhere to go after the Guardian Angel itself. Actually, he managed to make his way out over the wall. But either way, oh, not quite. Betsy will finish him off in the end there. Dragon is still being taken out by Roccat, but they have split focus. kaSing and Reje trying to put the damage down onto the encroaching Roccat. Parang jumping back to safety. 2 quick headshots will secure 2 kills. Double kill out for Steeelback. MightyBear now being chased down, and Steeelback will happily pick up a triple.
Yeah, and that's it. Roccat, they take that fight. They don't take Elemental Elder Dragon down. Maybe they do at the end there. We heard the shriek. But the more important part, everybody else was dead already on the side of Vitality. Yeah. Roccat, they're moving as a team in and out of the fight, target selecting, switching, kiting. Vitality was doing none of that. Cabochard went in while Nukeduck was already dead, and that's going to be it. Final tower going down.
Well, what can we say? Roccat late game once again coming in supreme. Multiple good pickoffs, multiple good plays, and this is how eventually Forzney move on to the Nexus. Roccat will take game 1 over Vitality.